Welcome to another week, another show of Hawkeye with me, Dave O'Hara. You see Mitch Fick here next to me. I'll get to Mitch in just a second. Mitch, of course, the news anchor, but also sports guy at a station that we're on, Fox 28, but also on CBS 2 in the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Eastern Iowa market. After Mitch, we'll talk with Craig and Stacy Schroeder. They're back. Finally get a chance to catch up with them after their great Fight with Flash Foundation golf tournament. We'll catch up with Craig and Stacy Schroeder today, and we'll have the quarterback analysis. As we have in years past, James Vandenberg is back as well, so looking forward to talking to the former Hawkeye quarterback. So that being said, Mitch, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
Great seeing you.
Great seeing you as well. Let's start off by saying a happy 94th birthday. By the time this airs, happy 94th birthday to Mitch's grandma, Katie.
Yeah, great to know that she and your mom got to be so close during their later years living in assisted living up in Clayton and Alameda County in that area.
Postville retirement home specifically.
She's in Waukon now, but yeah, as tough a lady as you'll find for sure, and it's so cool that we've got that connection and get to celebrate another trip around the sun, 94.
Yeah, how about that? And again, congrats to you, Katie. So happy birthday. That podcast, you and Owen Sebring are just crushing it. And oh, by the way, it looks like you're having a great time.
Yeah, boy, people ask, like, boy, you're going to be doing a lot doing news and sports and not really having many true off days. And covering the Hawks isn't work to me. Again, that's foundational. It's how I found my way into broadcasting, going back to doing play-by-play at Xavier. That was my first live broadcast experience while I was also working for DITV and getting into the Hawkeye beat too. So to come back to it really, even though I'm already home, it's felt like a homecoming. It's been really fun, and it's been a great opportunity to get to work with Owen, a guy I've known since freshman year at UNI. We were in Ron Steele's TV writing class together.
Wow.
Because I started at Cedar Falls, so it's been great to get to work with him and really break out of the boundaries of your typical 6 o'clock sportscast where it's 3 minutes at the end of the show. We've got so much stuff that gets left on the cutting room floor. So to get into those storylines and those cool conversations we get to have with players and coaches and whatnot, and really expound on things that happen on Saturday that sometimes by Monday you forget about, to be able to go back and revisit those and analyze them and have conversations about again, that doesn't feel like work to me. That just feels like life.
I'm the living embodiment of everything you said. Same here. It's a labor of love, truly, and I don't even like to use the word labor, as you mentioned as well. But thank you for the initial kind words as well. It's great to have you back, and I can equally say that back to you. It's been a little over a year since Mitch joined us last, and we're going to have you on the regular during the football season for sure, around your schedule. But I got to tell you, Mitch, with today's press availability, it wasn't probably the best news, but we knew kind of going in what it was going to be about. And player availability this morning, and then you were at the presser with Kirk Ferentz this afternoon, again on Tuesday afternoon, September 19th. We record this. So Luke Lachey, we know, is out. Caleb Johnson going to be out. They weren't even on the depth chart, as well as Jazz Patterson. So would you go into some more detail? And let's start with Luke, because you've got some pertinent information there.
Luke, and anybody who saw that injury on Saturday knew that looked like the type of thing that could end a year. That is what it sounds like. Kirk Ferentz said he had surgery today on a lower right leg injury, and most likely season-ending. And as we've all talked about, and I think really came to fruition going into the Iowa State game, of just finding out that Luke Lachey is kind of got that Buddy the Elf energy, just likes to smile, such a happy-go-lucky guy, just really super positive. It's so tough to see something like this happen to a kid like that, regardless of his talent, which he has boatloads of, and regardless of the impact this has on the passing attack. Just seeing a good young man who represents himself and the university the right way to get hurt. It's tough. I really hope, and it sounds like he will eventually be back with the program. Doesn't sound like he'll travel to Happy Valley, but he'll be back there, because I think his morale and his attitude and the vibes he brings, those are so important going through the doldrums of the season, really getting to those tough stretches in the Big Ten. So it'll be good to have him back, certainly. And then, Caleb Johnson, Jazz Patterson, both banged up. They won't be playing against Penn State on Saturday. Sounds like they'll be back sooner, maybe even as soon as next week. But again, this is a program that's built around next man in, and these are the two probably most deep positions, at least on offense, for Iowa, at running back and tight end. We've seen Steven Stilianos, we've seen Addison Ostrenga get in. They had some late catches there, just good reps to further themselves into possibly expanded roles, definitely expanded roles, I should say. And then LaShawn Williams, when he's your third string tailback, you're in a good spot. And then Kamari Moulton and TJ Washington, especially Kamari, true freshman, comes in and performs like that. He's now going to be on a really big stage and hopefully can continue to do things like that.
Two things you mentioned to me off the air I want to bring on the air, and to LaShawn Williams, what a class guy he is, because he did nothing but speak highly of the underclassmen. Was like, no, these guys are ready.
Yeah.
Not trying to ease, that's the first thing, not trying to ease you into this, fans, but Mitch and I were talking off the air, and let's bring it on the air. If something were to happen in injuries, the two rooms that it's, I guess, passable or moderately acceptable are in the running back room and also in the tight end room. So there is great depth, great talent. You mentioned Ostranga and Stylianos, but also the running back room, and you mentioned those three guys. So it's not like the cupboard is bare. You don't want to have injuries, but I think you bring a very nice positive upswing here of, if that is going to happen, that's the room that maybe it's the best room to happen in.
Again, on the running back side, listen, we're not in 2004 territory, but we have seen the Sam Brownlees of the world can jump in there and have an impact. And boy, we got to see Max White with a moment for the ages on Saturday. And Kirk even said, hey, he might be in there too, because we're getting down the depth chart. And again, Max White, a hard-nosed kid who certainly has talent and work ethic to go for days. So who knows? It's going to be anybody and everybody, because when you're going into Happy Valley, you just better have all your cards there.
Amen to that. Number 24, Iowa, playing number 7, Penn State. Whiteout game for Penn State. So it's going to be a hostile environment. We've heard former Hawkeyes, and James Vandenberg will talk about that this week at the end of this program, what it's like to play at Penn State. And hopefully it's not Unhappy Valley for the Hawks. It's Happy Valley. But I will say this to you, Mitch, a couple different places to go with this. Television. The Hawks now going to be on national television, CBS, one of your stations, CBS 2, is going to be 6:30 kick. And then the following Saturday, NBC television against Michigan State at Kinnick Stadium. So, and we'll get into the whole Michigan State story, everything going on there next week. We'll reserve now for just the craziness that's happening at Michigan State. But we'll deal with Penn State now. I think that's plenty good for the Hawkeyes to be concerned with that. So let's you and I talk a little bit more, Mitch, about what else you learned today at press availability, either from the players or from Coach Ferentz. Anything else besides injuries, or what else was covered?
I'm going to go back to broadcast real quick, because I was reading through the notes they hand out to the media, and there were some really interesting notes about how long it's been since Iowa's been on CBS. I remember I even found a screenshot of an old Tim Dwight punt return with the old kind of jagged 2 logo from back in the mid to late 90s. So cool to see that. And I remember watching the Hawks on CBS 2 as well. It's Iowa's first game on CBS since the 97 Sun Bowl against Arizona State, their first regular season game since 1986 against Michigan.
I was going to say, please don't. Okay, not the 85 Michigan game, but the 86 Michigan game.
The next one. So it has been a while. Iowa is 11-4-1, I believe, on CBS. So weigh that however you need to. It's been 26 years since they've been on, but just what a cool moment for us as a station, thinking from a broadcast mentality, to have a game like that in prime time. Again, going into Happy Valley. I was at James Vandenberg's game in 2011. That was my lone trip out there. Boy, and that was a day game, too. I can't imagine being under the lights and the whiteout and everything, and what an atmosphere that's going to be at Beaver Stadium. But just, it's such a cool platform. And again, we saw so many cool storylines and moments happen for individual players last week against Western Michigan. Deontay Vine scoring a touchdown a week after he lost his uncle to cancer. He revealed that to us today. And so just amazing for him to finally have that moment. Ontario Thompson, who was a stud at Dubuque Hempstead, had to go to Iowa Western, get his academics right. Comes to Iowa looking to get on that D-line, ends up going on special teams. He's an incredible athlete. Logan Lee was singing his praises about watching him in summer conditioning. He has an awesome moment blocking a safety. It's all about moments in college football. You strip away the talks about contractual numbers and everything like that. It's about getting groups of people together to have amazing experiences on big stages. There's another big stage on Saturday. The lights are on. The white shirts are all on, and it is going to be an incredible environment. Even as a road team going in, these are the stages that you're going to learn a lot about yourself, and that's what's so exciting about it.
Mitch, I can't even tell you. I knew this much time. The time would go so quickly. It's great catching up with you again. Likewise. On a personal note, but also professionally. And look forward to catching up with you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it'll be good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Take care.
You too. He is Mitch Fick, and again, Fox 28, CBS 2, the duopoly there, that one of the stations, Fox 28, carries our show here, Hawkeyed, and also Des Moines, Fox 17, and of course Sioux City, CBS 14, and then in the southern Iowa, southeast Iowa corridor, and Ottumwa, Kirksville on KTVO, CBS. So those are the 4 Sinclair-owned and operated stations in Iowa that carry this show, and of course it lives online, DaveO'HaraSports.com. So Mitch Fick, again, news anchor and sports guy. Just going to call you all around to do everything, right?
Utility player, trying to be David Eckstein out there. Just do a little bit of everything. I will say, for those, and again, thanks so much much for this platform.
Truly my pleasure.
Eye on the Hawks has been such a fun endeavor to get into. Again, just taking that stuff off the cutting room floor, really giving it a home. Eye on the Hawks on the Iowa News Now YouTube page. Yep. We do preview episodes on Wednesdays. We do live stream recaps Sunday mornings at noon. So hop on there, get in the chat, and talk to us about what you feel about games. And then anywhere you download podcasts, just search Eye on the Hawks. We'll have it up there. And just been so fun to get in that, and fun to always talk shop and talk ball and talk life with you as well.
Same with you. And again, all of Mitch's information, if we say that, and it's a little quick for you, freeze frame it. All of Mitch's information at the bottom of the screen here. We'll get you links there. But Mitch, of course, like me, a baseball guy. I love the reference to the St. Louis Cardinals and even the California Angels, for that matter, David Eckstein. So for Mitch Fick, I'm Dave O'Hara and Hawkeye. We'll be back with more Craig and Stacy Schroeder with Fight with Flash, and then also James Vandenberg, former Hawkeye quarterback. We'll close the show out from there. Back with more in just a few moments.
To have a strong finish, you need an excellent start. It's true on the track and also in the field. That's why Mershman Seeds works tirelessly to deliver cutting-edge technology year after year. Introducing Starting Line, Mershman Seeds' latest advancement in seed treatment, now providing added protection from white mold and sudden death syndrome all season. Ask for Starting Line seed treatment from Mershman Seeds, your friend in the field.
Welcome back to Hawkeye with me, Dave O'Hara. There they are. They're back. Craig and Stacy Schroeder, Fight with Flash Foundation. I gave a pause. I know. I knew Stacy had something for us. But Fight with Flash Foundation via Facebook or fightwithflash.org. Gosh, just the energy you two bring in. And what a high we're coming in on with you two. Stace, Craig, big doings at the Fight with Flash annual golf tournament. So, Stacy, Craig's going to wow us with the numbers. So, Stace, let's have you talk about the day. What a day it was.
Yes.
On Friday a couple weeks ago. You had Patrick McCaffrey there giving his testimonial, others giving testimonials. Kind of lay it out for us what a great day it was.
Yeah, well, thankfully, we started off the day. It was gorgeous. I mean, it was a perfect day for golfers to be out there. But this year, Craig, in the very beginning, he wanted us to, actually last year, right after it ended, he said, okay, next year I want to do a theme, and let's get tropical was the theme. And we thought, well, do we really want to do that? And yep, it went off with a hitch, and everybody loved the shirts. It just was a great vibe. The colors are beautiful. Everybody had a great time. The weather was perfect for our tropical theme.
And after the previous year when the weather didn't cooperate as much, and you still had big doings online, but you could not have predicted.
Oh, the day was so great, and it's just so much more meaningful when we get all our golfers there, but then we get to have our patients, the AYA adolescent young adult patients, who actually come and some speak to our crowd. The Dr. Dickens, the head of the AYA, he spoke and shared his stories with us too of some different patients. And a special shout out to Patrick McCaffrey, who came and shared his story with us, which was amazing.
And his story obviously involved Austin. They went through it together.
They were both diagnosed right around, just like within a few weeks of each other, basically. So, but the day was wonderful, and just being able to have them share their stories, and it's just that's what it's all about. So then our golfers get to realize, this is why we're here. This is why we need to raise the money. We need to help these people. We need to help all these patients that are fighting for their life out there still. And but it's been great. And on top of the donations, the sponsors, we were able to give 12 spots out there to AYA patients to come and play for free and enjoy the day with us. So
that day, truly, it really is. That day, your whole year, your whole operation, again, 100% profits, everything goes to the Fight with Flash or UI, Stead Family Children's Hospital via the Fight with Flash Foundation. But Craig had some type of divine intervention there, because predicting tropical, and you both have your tropical shirts on, but the tropical weather met you guys. What wasn't the tropical rainstorm, heat, and humidity? It was a perfect day, Craig, and thank you so much, Stacy, for that, and all the great things that happened. That being said, Craig, Stacy and I'll give a low budget here. We'll give you our drum roll. We need a number here. What did we get to?
This year we netted somewhere a little over $85,000. So see,
Stacy's just finding out too. That's awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
We keep the spice alive.
There you go. Well, you have to somehow, some way. So there's the Cheshire Grin from Craig. Fantastic, $85K.
Nice.
And again, we're a little over 8 years into this Fight with Flash Foundation organization, and you guys are approaching very quickly almost that magic 7-figure number. So again, I don't want to get crazy with the numbers. I get a little over estimate, but in reality, you guys are very closely and steadily going towards that. And again, 100% of the profits, or all the money taken in, goes to UI Stead Family Children's Hospital. We've got to talk about another online auction, the Bourbon. That's going to bring in, and that has been incredibly successful the last couple of years for you folks.
That has been extremely successful to be able to just think about, a dozen or so guys donating some bourbon to the foundation. And the Angel Share group, which again is a private Facebook group, and people can join. They just have to have one of us members send them an invite through the group, and then they get accepted in, and they can be a part of any of the Angel Share events that they have during the year, and they really just do this to support like nonprofits like ours, the foundations, or even some of the members that actually have a cancer diagnosis or something like that just do a GoFundMe type page. This group really steps up, and they have actually, and since I think it's only been 5 years since their existence, they've already helped raise to donate over $2 million to foundations like us, which is amazing. So, in the last 2 years we've done it, it's been over $50,000 every single year. And maybe that's some of the best money spent for me. Instead of buying and drinking the bourbon, I'm buying and donating it and helping us raise money, right?
Okay.
Right.
So, what's she going to say on camera?
What's she gonna say
Nice
on
job,
camera,
Craig.
Right? So, no, that event is this coming Thursday through Sunday. So we're really looking forward to that, and hopefully again it'll raise another 50,000 plus.
Yep.
So. No doubt about that. Again, folks, besides thanking Craig and Stacy and all their wonderful volunteers that work with them, also to you, the viewers, and those of you that have been a part of Fight with Flash with your donations and just spreading the good word, kudos to you viewers as well. But again, Fight with Flash Foundation via Facebook or fightwithflash.org, and Craig, we'll have all the details, Craig and Stacy will, of how to get involved with all the online auctions and everything else going on. But it is so great to see both of you in studio. It's been way too long.
Yes.
So congratulations as always, and thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Truly my pleasure, and thank you guys. Craig Schroeder, Stacy Schroeder, Fight with Flash Foundation. Again, Fight with Flash Foundation via Facebook or fightwithflash.org. So for Craig and Stacy Schroeder, I'm Dave O'Hara, and thanks also to Mitch Fick. We'll be back to close out the show with former Hawkeye quarterback James Vandenberg. It's Penn State week. Let's get ready for that. So back with more Hawkeye in just a few moments.
Who do you trust to produce the best yield? A seed company that's chasing technology, or a seed company that's writing a book on it? Mershman Seeds is a leader in technology. We're independent and family owned. Our sister company, MS Technologies, provides access to world-class traits and genetics. And our starting line seed treatment is second to none. Who can you trust with your yields? Mershman Seeds, your friend in the field.
Welcome back to Hawkeye with me, Dave O'Hara. Well, you've heard it for the last couple of segments. It's game week. It's Penn State. We're recording this on Tuesday afternoon, September 19th. There he is, James Vandenberg, former Hawkeye quarterback. We finally get him on screen for the first time this year. As you know, he joins me regularly. James, we're into year 4 now, so don't pull what your buddy James Morris did and tell me it's time for a raise and does he get a diploma, because we're going into year 4 now. But thank you as always, and I see that big grin.
The founding member, I'm getting slighted here. I'm not even featured till weeks.
Well, this is the biggest game of the year, so that's why we, let you get back from your vacation.
Marketing director is Bud Light, apparently.
Wow, there's so much to answer to that. I won't even go there. I'm going to let you have that one. But my friend, great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Of course, folks, as you know, James Vandenberg, former Hawkeye quarterback. And James, we were talking the first 2 segments with Mitch Fick and then with Craig and Stacy Schroeder. You know all about Penn State. So before we get into talking about Cade McNamara and the quarterback and getting in QB1's helmet, Let's you and I talk Penn State. You've had a couple of experiences there, and let's start with 09 first, and then let's go 2011. But in 09, you were reserved behind Rick Stanzi and Claiborne. We all don't know that game very well, but take the listeners in, or the viewers into this. You told me this on radio initially 4 or 5 years ago. You were like, "Oh, Dave, I can't even begin to tell you about Penn State and fans behind the fence and the whole deal." So get into that for the fans, if you would, for us, please, James.
Yeah, I mean, basically the story went, I was a redshirt freshman. We were playing at Penn State for a whiteout, and we're in the locker room, and they've kind of got their stadium's huge, but it's kind of old and rickety metal. And we're in the locker room, and you can just hear somebody just screaming like, "I'm going to kill you, Stanzi. I'm going to kill you. I'm waiting out here. I'm going to kill you." And I was like a redshirt freshman, so I was just kind of like giddy smiling, like, dude, there's somebody crazy out there. Rick was a little bit more stone-faced. And anyway, we came out of the locker room, and sure enough, there was a guy like trying to climb over the fence. And there was hundreds of people waiting on the fence. It was a rainy night. You got the whiteout. Claiborne blocks the punt. That was forever like a memory of a real Big Ten, atmosphere type game.
Yeah, and you mentioned your wife off the air. You were telling me your wife asked you one time about going to a game, and you're like, if you're ever going to go to a game on the road, if you want, it's ironically named as Happy Valley. If you don't come out of there like you guys did in 09 with a victory, it was Happy Valley then for the Hawkeyes. But there are times it's not so Happy Valley for the visitors. But talk about that. When you said that to your wife, you're like, oh, you got to go there as a fan.
Yeah, I mean, you hear, as somebody who likes college football, and you hear about like Death Valley, you hear obviously Alabama, LSU, you hear all these, the Swamp. And Kinnick is awesome. I've had a lot of people tell me Kinnick was as opposing players, is one of the most ruthless places to play because of how close the fans are to the bench, which I can only imagine what's said over there. But that's an awesome. The end zones, like they are going to tip over onto the field. You get a bunch of liquored up Pennsylvanians wearing white, and you get two, ranked teams. It's as good as it gets.
So talk to us a little bit, James. What's going on in those meeting rooms on the offensive side of the ball, and what's Cade McNamara, most importantly, QB1, going through this week?
Yeah, no, from appearances on this show, I don't really listen to Twitter and the noise, so I don't hear a lot of the day-to-day gossip. And I'm a little bit nothing's really changing this week. To me, it looks like Cade's probably not 100%. There's a little bit of something when he takes off running that doesn't. He's not probably 100%. And I'm assuming this week, just like these last couple weeks, is you got to get the reps, you got to see the looks, but you don't need to push it super far either. Especially when you start talking and now a different number 2 and 3 tight end, everybody kind of moves up. Running backs, not quite as, handing it off is not that the timing's super easy, but it's not as drastic as when you're throwing to people. So he's going to want to be in there getting the reps, but also, keeping him healthy. We don't want him adding to that list of the injuries. So, it's going to be a full game week, traveling out to Happy Valley. They'll fly out Friday. Landing there is weird. You're in the middle of the mountains. It's always kind of a steep decline into Happy Valley. And but this is going to be, game week as usual, just like these last 3 weeks have been. There's going to be some new characters, it sounds like, but preparation probably hasn't changed very much.
James, I got to ask you this directly. Didn't want to put your feet to the fire like this right out of the chute, but we got to, as you're smiling with me. Hawks by a million, the old, H-BAM, as they say, Hawks by a million, or Hawks in a close one, Penn State. How do you see this game? I got the Hawks in a close one. What do you say?
And I would say Hawks in a close one. I think, obviously, as history goes, we'll be pretty heavy underdogs, I would assume.
Yeah, as we record this on Tuesday afternoon on September 19th, the Hawks going in, depending on what sportsbook you look at, they're about a 2-touchdown underdog right now.
Yeah, and that's I would definitely. I don't bet on sports. If I did, I'd probably take the under on that. Our defense will outperform. They've got their quarterback. I watched him a couple weeks ago. He's impressive. I believe he's a really big recruit. But this is going to be a big environment for him too. Our defense tends to make people make mistakes, quite frankly, and so I like us going into this. It's that classic, just we're going to sneak in there and probably come out with a 1-point win type deal.
I'll take it.
But it does matter. A win's a win.
Yeah. Are you going like in 2017 type range, or what ballpark are you in there?
Yeah, I think we probably got to score 20 points to win. So somewhere 24-21, 20-17, 21-17, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and we talked about Drew Aller, the much heralded quarterback from Penn State. We talked about him in the previous segment with Mitch Fick, so you nailed it as always. Folks, he is James Vandenberg. He's back with us. James, former Hawkeye quarterback, and I love the stories, and folks, hopefully you enjoyed that Penn State Happy Valley, and it's Happy Valley for the Hawkeyes this Saturday, national television. James, let's add that into the mix. CBS television, 6:30 kickoff. Can't wait. Great to see you again. Thanks again, as always, for your time, and look forward to seeing you next week, James.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
My pleasure as always. For James Vandenberg, Craig and Stacy Schroeder, and Mitch Fick, and to you, the viewers, also my production partner, Michael Merrick. I'm Dave O'Hara with Hawkeye. That's all from us. Thanks to all of you. And as always, thanks for staying tuned at the end of the program for these rolling credits to give our advertisers and sponsors the attention and credit they so richly deserve. And as always, to our aforementioned guests and to you, the viewers. That's all from us at Hawkeye. Thanks to all of you.